known as the Magna Carta for Disabled Persons. It is a declared policy of the state that the grant of the rights and privileges for disabled persons shall be guided by the following principles. Letter A. Disabled persons are part of the Philippine society. Thus, the state shall give full support to the improvement of the total well-being of disabled persons and their integration into mainstream of society. Toward this end, the state shall adopt policies ensuring the rehabilitation, self-development, and self-reliance of disabled persons. It shall develop their skills and potentials to enable them to compete favorably for availment or for available opportunities. Letter B. Disabled persons have the same right as other people to take their proper place in society. They should be able to live freely and as independently as possible. This must be the concern of everyone, the family, the community, and all government and non-government organizations. Disabled persons' rights must never be perceived as welfare services by the government. Letter C. The rehabilitation of the disabled person shall be the concern of the government in order to foster their capacity to attain a more meaningful, productive, and satisfying life. To reach out to a greater number of disabled persons, the rehabilitation services and benefits shall be expanded beyond the traditional urban-based centers to community-based programs that will ensure full participation of different sectors as supported by national and local government agencies. Letter D. The state shall recognize the rules of the private sector in promoting the welfare of disabled persons and shall encourage partnership in programs that address their needs and concerns. Letter E. To facilitate integration of disabled persons into the mainstream of society, the state shall advocate for and encourage respect for disabled persons. The state shall exert all efforts to remove all social, cultural, economic, environmental, and attitudinal barriers that are prejudicial to disabled persons. As part of the municipal government of Ayog, support services in the implementation of the PDAO program, project, and activities. The current administration of Honorable Celso Matias, Municipal Mayor, had allocated funds and installed 2 regular employees, the community affairs officer o focal person, and 2 job order personnel to carry out the PDAO operations under the supervision of the MSWDO, Ma'am Gloria D. Montortol, RSW. See attached PDAO Work and Financial Plan and Annual Procurement Plan. PDAO operations shall be in accordance with the approved Annual Work and Financial Plan and its approved Annual Procurement Plans. Administrative expenses. Those are the procurement of the following: common office supplies and other supplies and materials. Letter B, documents and profiling. Those provisions of information and technology supplies and office equipment. Under the transportation expenses are provisions of fuels for barangay visits, home visits, monitoring, and information and education campaign. Letter C. Traveling expenses. These are for meetings, conferences, orientations, trainings, and or seminars within the and outside the municipality. Letter D. Representation expenses. Procurement of the following. Number 1. PWD quarterly federated meetings. Expenses for meals and snacks. Letter B, NDPR week. Meals and snacks, assorted groceries, various supplies supplies and prices. Letter E, assistive devices. Procurement of wheelchairs, adjustable crutches, adjustable cane, quad cane, hearing aid, devices, braille books. Letter F, recreational instrument. Purchase of recreational instruments. Letter G, school supplies for SPED, students and indigents. A purchase of notebooks, papers, pencils, erasers, and crayons. Kini para sa next year ni. Letter H, slippers for children. Grade 1 to grade 6. 1,000 pair of provision of slippers for PW children in upper barangays. This is also for next year. Livelihood assistance. Expenses for applicants of livelihood projects such as TISDA trainings and other trainings, including purchase of livelihood kits. Pareha itong mga ipangatag na to sa mga barangay. One of the major program of the PDAO is the pursuant of Proclamation number 1870 during 1970 as amended by Proclamation number 361 during year 2000 and the Administrative Order number 35 series of 2002. The NDPR Week, which is being commemorated annually to stimulate public awareness on the issues and problems of disability, thereby encouraging every citizen of the country to take active responsibility in the upliftment of the economic and social condition of all PWDs in our society. The celebration will be an advocacy to promote the rights and welfare of the sector. Different talents of the PWDs will be highlighted. Series of contests and parlor games were introduced and conducted to boost camaraderie among themselves. Prizes are provided to encourage more partaking. Attendees were also given blankets, bath towels, some other time t-shirts, and previous year various of non-food items to increase furthermore participation. It is also during the celebration that different assistive devices will be awarded to eligible beneficiaries, such as wheelchairs, adjustable crutches, adjustable cane, quad cane, hearing aid, brailles, and etc. On the other hand, under the Section 1 of the Republic Act 72-77, a new chapter to be denominated as Chapter 8, Other Privileges and Incentives, is hereby added to Title 2 of Republic Act number 72-77, with new Section 32 to read as Educational Assistance to Persons with Disability, or for them to pursue primary, secondary, tertiary, post-tertiary, as well as vocational or technical education in both public and private schools through the provision of scholarships, grants, financial aids, subsidies, and other incentives to qualified PWD, including support for books, learning materials, and uniform allowance to the extent feasible, provided that persons with disability shall meet minimum admission requirements. The above-mentioned privileges are available only to persons with disability who are Filipino citizens upon submission of the following as proof of his entitlement thereto: an identification card issued by the government or by the municipal mayor or the barangay captain of the place where the person with disability resides. Number 2, Form 138 class card. Number 3, certification of enrollment. Hence, it is also this time that grant funds for qualified beneficiaries shall be released. A total of 2,000 pesos each per recipient. So, ako'y wala na mention ng mga services.
Ano tayo mong gay, wika mo gapon din?
Katong cancer, kaning paratamla.